Today on the Home Studio Podcast, we dive deep into the world of Lunatic Soul, the personal, introspective project of Mariusz Duda, known for blending light and darkness, electronic textures and organic soundscapes. Mariusz has built one of the most emotionally rich and cinematic universes in modern progressive music. With a brand new double album on the way and a fresh collaboration with Inside Out Music, he invites us into a story about creation, isolation, and transformation, all seen through the prism of his haunting melodies and intimate lyrics. In this conversation, we explore how he composes, how he turns inner thoughts into music, and what drives him to keep reinventing himself after more than 15 years, I think, of Lunatic Soul. Thank you, Mariusz.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
So let's begin with the most difficult question that we do in every of our guests, which is about the top 3 albums.
Top 3 albums of what? Of my entire life?
Of your entire life.
I'm always suck at this question, you know.
Everybody sucks on that.
Okay, so Opposition, War Begins at Home. The Lamp Lies Down on Broadway, Genesis, and Tangerine Dream, Poland. This is the live show.
Great choices. Over the years, Lunatic Soul has been described as ambient, oriental, electronic, and more. How has your vision for the project evolved since the beginning?
Well, actually, at the very beginning, I thought that if I created something that is genreless, it would be an advantage. But over the years, I realized that it's a flaw because people adore to put you on the right, precise bubble. And not only people, but also the algorithms of lots of services, digital streaming. So that's the problem. But from the very beginning, well, I thought that I definitely need to create the musical project that will give me the opportunity to express myself in the most possible wider sense, artistically, and that is why I really wanted to create something beyond genres and focus on the styles that I was always a huge fan of, which means ambient, cinematic music, electronic music, folk music, oriental world music, and of course rock music and maybe a bit of metal. So all these things I wanted to put in one musical project. I was hoping, and now I know, that it will give me more possibilities to create something original than, for instance, Riverside, because Riverside is still a strict band with specific kind of rules. But here, as a studio project, I could do literally everything. So yeah, that was the beginning. And I really wanted to also create something that gives me an opportunity to record the album every year. Because with Riverside, it's just like you're recording the album and then you have to go on tour for like 2 years or something. So I wanted to release the album every year. So I really needed something else to fill the gaps and to trying to develop myself all the time.
You have said that Lunatic Soul gives you more room for musical originality than your Riverside work. What does originality mean to you in the context of this project?
Well, let's assume that I would like to release the album with no drums. So, of course, I did that even with Riverside on Eye of the Soundscape, but it was a tricky thing, So there are some boundaries and rules that you cannot do in the classic rock lineup. And with Lunatic Soul, I can do, in this term, I can do the album without drums. I did that on Three Shaded Woods. I mean, there was a drum percussion kind of things, but there was no classic setup of the drums. And that would be a tricky part in Riverside. So even that kind of example is the way of using that, or skipping electric guitar that I did on Lunatic Soul. A lot of people don't realize that there's no electric guitar on Lunatic Soul. Everything that you hear that sounds like the guitar, these are or bass guitars, piccolo basses, or keyboards. So that would be also tricky in Riverside when people really demand the classic guitar player from the cover of Guitar magazine, if you know what I mean. And so those things gives me more freedom in terms of originality in music even. And then I can follow up with the different kind of instruments, different kind of effects, plugins, whatever, and do whatever I want to without compromises.
The albums of Lunatic Soul are often organized around the circle of life and death. How do you see the story, arc, playing out across the upcoming 8th album?
Well, the story, this is the circle of life and death. That's the story of Lunatic Soul plot. And it's about the journey of the hero who is just wandering through afterlives and alive. And well, he's trapped in some sort of the vicious circle, in the loop, and he wants to get rid of that. But that's the problem. He cannot do that. The thing is that he's an artist, and he tries to always remember his previous life. Because what is the most important in Lunatic Soul is the fact that when he ends up his journey through the afterlife, he gets the chance to revive, to go back to life. And he needs to make a choice if he wants to remember his previous life or not. And he always chooses memory because he's an artist and he doesn't want to create, he doesn't want to lose that he once composed Eleanor Rigby or, some other, I wish we were here, right? So he wants to keep that and develop that in the future life. But the problem is that with these memories, he also remembers his end, because unfortunately he's jumping through from the cliff to the waves. That's the thing that you can see on the Prophecy video. And so he thinks if he's going this time also end up that way. That's the problem, right? So he's always choosing this, and he always ends up that way, and it's a circle, vicious circle. He's repeating this pattern over and over until one day he sees that the sun doesn't look like the sun anymore. It's more like the unsung kind of thing, and that's the question mark in his head. Maybe it's time to get rid of this loop. Maybe it's time to finally get a chance to revive, but with a blank page, thank you, bye, I wish you were here, another Rigby, and other songs. Maybe someone else will came up with them, something. So that's the thing. The whole story on the new album is about abandoning the place when you don't want to be anymore. And it's a tricky part sometimes, and you need a process to get rid of this. So that's the whole album is about.
Amazing circle. So I assume that you really love science fiction movies.
Well, if I have to choose, I would choose fantasy movies more than science fiction.
Okay.
But what else? Science fiction is fine. Well, I never liked maths and physics at school, so science fiction was more like a. But I like the stories. I like the movies. I like the something that is abstract in terms even of the storyline. So that kind of things are really enjoyable for me.
You recently announced that the new album will be a double one with about 1.5 hours of music. How did you decide which ideas were strong enough to be a part of that extended format?
That is the 8th Lunatic Soul album. and I already announced that the whole story will have only 8 albums, basically 6 with 2 supported ones. And so I had to fill all the gaps, in the lyrics and in the story. But I also wanted to create the album which would sound like the best of Lunatic Soul, with all the elements which are characteristic for this project. And I was afraid that with one album only, that would be too intense and too much. And if you do 90 minutes, if you make a space, so these sounds can reverb in a proper way. So I thought, yeah, let's make this as a double album. Together with my friends from Seraco Studio, we decided, yeah, let's go. Let's put all these ideas here. Do not choose the best ones. Let's create whatever you want to. The only limit was the vinyl.
Yeah, of course.
So because I really wanted to release that on vinyl, and to be that's funny. When I said that I am doing a double album, lots of people ask me, so how many vinyl records it would be?
4.
Just 2, not 4.
Really?
It's just like 2. Yes, that's the thing,
Yeah.
We get used to the fact that these days, if you release the album that has like 60 minutes, there's always a double album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people are just releasing 2 records, and on another record there's like bonus content. No, I just wanted to release a proper old-fashioned double album with 22 minutes and 30 seconds, or 23 minutes on each side of the vinyl, which gives you almost 90 minutes of music, because the whole album has 89 and 36. 2 records only, so you've got the proper double album, with such a big amount of, and that was the limit, right? So I knew I cannot cross this, and I decided to release that album like 45 minutes on each CD and each vinyl.
Okay. You signed with Inside Out Music for this upcoming release. How did that partnership come about, and what does it enable for Lunatic Soul?
I don't know. I hope the future brings lots of great new colors. For sure, what I wanted to do, I was talking in the story. I was describing my hero's journey, that he wants to get rid of some patterns, being in the loop. So I really wanted to change something as well. I adore K-Scope as a label. I adore the guys from K-Scope. But I thought that maybe it's a moment when the Lunatic Soul should be somewhere else, just to check how it goes. And so I'm experimenting now.
You've shared some clips of bass riffs you recorded at Seraco Studio. How much do you build songs around these riffs, and your bass, of course, versus finishing them later with vocals and instrumentation?
When I do the album, I always start with the storyline, more or less, with the title, with the color of the cover, and then I am choosing instruments for that. It's not like I have one main instrument for all the albums. Sometimes I focus more on the piano, sometimes I focus more on acoustic guitar or piccolo bass. I create the main instrument, let's say, and then I'm filling the missing parts with other instruments. So everything is just like I build lots of layers composed on different kind of instruments. And for this new album, I asked myself a question: in what I am good at as a composer, as a musician. And I just realized that, well, for sure I hope I can create good melodies, that they are memorable, and they are not shallow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And also
not easy ones.
Yeah, I try to avoid that kind of things. At the same time, I think that I can also came up with a good riff on the guitar or a bass guitar. So I wanted to combine those two elements, and that is why we have so many ballads and mellow things.
Yeah.
But also from time to time, I also play some riffs for the fans that were enjoying my videos when I decided to play a few Lunatic Soul songs, mostly to show that this is not the music based on ambient layouts only, but also on the just classic riffs. So yeah, that's more or less how it is.
How do you manage to have a parallel action between the bass and the vocals? Because it's very difficult. Do you think yourself as a rhythmical kind of vocalist, or you find melodies that can work parallel to the bass rhythm?
Well, for me, both parts are really equally the same. The validation of them is the same, like the rhythmic part and the melodic part. I'm the rhythm kind of guy. I think I destroyed my teeth in my childhood mostly because I did almost things like
You count.
going somewhere. I was just playing the drums with my teeth. And I remember then the dentist just saw it and said, "Wow, they're just fractured in many places. What are you doing? What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm playing the drums." So if you play the drums and you're just whistling melodies, then you know, since you are a small kid, you realize that those two things are really important to you. And so I always try to find balance between those two things. And the bass, if I play the bass, I play the bass mostly sometimes like I don't need the drums for that. That's the part. Because I know there's lots of bass players who needs the drums to feel the groove and everything. So if you have really fat groove, like so then you can do things only like only a few parts. And in my style of playing, I always wanted to put these drums into even my style of playing.
Hmm.
So it's always like down, da 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 da. And I always try to find a good patterns like dun dun down 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 down. Always something rhythmically, not you know, I just not only 4/4, if you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I really prefer 5/4 or 7/4. These are my favorites because the song always just is moving on to
It
the
never
entire
ends.
song.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I have these things, that kind of background, I try to sing to that as well, and I fill some gaps that are free. And sometimes I don't have any choice than fit to this unstable background, whatever that is, and just think like it's a normal song.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's also very important that I don't want to create complicated things for some nerds that adore that kind of things. Only for listeners who are, let's say, adoring the mood of the song and the melodies.
Mm, mm,
So I always try to make those rhythmic playing possible to listen and understand, right?
mm, mm.
And I think make them being acceptable, even for ordinary listener. So melodies always helps because I can simply just sing something to the structure, and then people are mostly listen to the vocal. Something what's going on in the background, it's not as important for like let's
It's
say,
very important musically, but
oh, of
it's
course,
not as
but
commercial.
how many people are listening to
Yeah,
what bass plays listening to the radio, mostly
yeah.
vocal and drums. These are two of the most important instruments. So yeah, of course I'm making a bit of a joke, but the truth is that I know where's the catch, the main one. So I always try to and with the voice. Unless I'm just coming up mostly with the melody, playing the piano, and then I just find very, very great melodies. So the bass guitar is, in the second position and it waits. Sometimes I don't even play the bass because I don't need this. Everything depends on the demand of the song.
Have you ever had vocal lessons?
Well, to be honest, not
Really?
till
Wow.
2018. In 2018, I was struggling with technical issues because of the amount of the shows that we played with Riverside. And I was afraid that playing 30 or 40 shows forced me to struggle somewhere in the middle of the tour. And that's how I started taking lessons and how to warm up properly, how to prepare properly. And that helped me very much. So, yeah, I've been waiting very long to understand that I need this.
Many of the singers I've interviewed before had exactly the same experience. Exactly the same. When they didn't manage to overcome many shows, then they had their vocal lessons.
Well, I also realized that I have to skip something because the longer tours, for me, that was a kind of a sacrifice. So I cannot drink cold beer, cannot drink anything with the bubbles. I don't know. I have to always take care of myself to not get healthy, to not get sick. Because if I be broken, then the whole tour is out, right? Or at least a few shows.
Yeah.
So that's always a challenge for me. With practicing vocal lessons and everything, I kind of, that was just like a firewall to the sickness. And it helped me also to stay healthy for many days on tour.
I think, fingers crossed, for many years. Have you, I think that you've announced a hiatus of Riverside for 2026, I think.
We never officially said
Yeah.
that we are on hiatus. It was just like we are on the break, like in France, Res and Rachel. We are on the break because that was one of the reasons was that I really wanted to take some rest from playing live shows and focus on being in the studio and everything. Plus, as I said, I turned 50, so it was a good moment to do some kind of reflection about what I'm doing, if this is good or not. Do we really need to be in the lockdown during the COVID to have time to finally make a stop and look around? Come on. So that was a good moment for me. So we needed that, So we are now on the break. I don't know what the future brings. For now, I have Lunatic Soul and I want to concentrate on that.
Does this mean that we'll have an expansion to the Lunatic Soul world?
For now, I announced that this is the last album and I'm just done with the whole story. And so I'm not sure if it means that there will be the expansion of Lunatic Soul world. Yeah, because this is the final album and I always say, hey, bye-bye, Lunatic Soul. And then I'm releasing the single, which is the new end when, boo, this is the end. So I don't know. But maybe the fact that on the video, the cut is just before the chord that I try to make on the piano, maybe that means something.
Oh, I
don't know.
I saw what you did there.
I don't know what you did last summer.
So, Mariusz, it was a great pleasure because I'm a big fan of your approach to music and aesthetics.
Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you.
I totally adore what you did with Riverside and Lunatic Soul, that parallel lives of yours. So I have to bring you a new thing as an outro. We have to do a this or that for voices. Are you ready for this? This or that rock voices.
Okay.
So let's go. Peter Gabriel or Phil Collins?
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel or Tom York?
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel or Steven Wilson?
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel or Eddie Vedder?
Peter Gabriel.
Oh, Peter Gabriel or Robert Plant?
Robert Plant.
Robert Plant or Ronnie James Dio?
Robert Plant.
Robert Plant or Bruce Dickinson?
Robert Plant.
Robert Plant or Sting?
Sting.
Oh, Sting or Michael Ackerfeld?
Sting.
Sting or Matt Bellamy?
Sting.
Sting or Axl Rose? Back in the days.
Sting. Back in the days.
And the final one, Sting or Kurt Cobain?
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain, wow, we have a winner. Mariusz, thank you very much. As a vocal coach, I truly adore also your approach to the vocal lines and your healthy approach on the higher notes.
I thank you very much. Okay. I think that I have much better lower notes, but I don't use them unless from time to time maybe, but okay, thank you.
That's true, because you have the bass, so it's a competition of your lower notes and the bass that you hold, I think.
That is, okay, interesting.
Mariusz, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Congratulations for the album. It's amazing, as always.
Thank you.
Bye, Mariusz. See you.